A woman named Guo Shuang was seen being interviewed moments before her execution. When she learned that her boyfriend had been given a suspended death sentence, she felt a huge sense of relief. What have they actually done? First of all, I would like to thank you for subscribing to our channel. Your support means a lot to us. Guo Shuang was born in Zhengzhou City in 1983. Both of her parents were workers, and she was the only child in her family. In 2005, she graduated from college but could not find a decent job anywhere. One day, one of his friends heard that a hospital was hiring and told Guo about it. Guo then sent his resume to the hospital, but never got a reply. About 2 months later, the hospital staff called Guo and said there was a job opening for an assistant director of personnel, but it was only a temporary position. The staff asked if she would accept it. Guo agreed without hesitation and immediately started working at the hospital. There she met her boss, the director of personnel, Fang Wenzhong, who was 40 years old at the time. Initially, Guo had a good impression of Fang. Guo considered Fang to be a very capable leader and had a good relationship with his colleagues. Moreover, his professional background was indeed impressive. In 1956, Fang was born into a simple family, living in the countryside and having a low income. But he was intelligent and hardworking. In 1983, he was admitted to Hunan Medical University. After graduating, he worked in a hospital. During his work, he obtained a master's degree. In 1995, he was accepted into the doctoral program, majoring in hepatobiliary surgery. In 1999, he continued his postdoctoral research at Harvard University and Columbia University Medical School, studying hepatobiliary surgery and molecular biology, respectively. He achieved success in his career. However, in the meantime, his emotional life experienced some difficulties. In 1994, he was introduced to an ophthalmologist, Wang Liping, and they became serious. A year later, they married and had a son and a daughter in the following years. When Fang went abroad to do research, he brought his wife and children with him. In 2003, Fang's alma mater invited him to work at the university. After much consideration, he decided to return to China, but his wife disagreed with him about where to live in the future. The two could not reconcile their differences and eventually chose to divorce. In 2004, after returning to China with his 2 children, Fang was treated as a returning talent from abroad by relevant departments. Not only was he specially appointed as a doctoral supervisor at Zhengzhou University, but he also got a position at a hospital in Zhengzhou. He was given a 2-bedroom condominium and given a settlement fee of 120,000 yuan, nearly $20,000. He sent his children back to his hometown to be raised by his parents, while he worked on his own in Zhengzhou. In July 2005, Fang was promoted to director of the hospital's personnel department. He had only been in the position for 3 months when Guo joined as a temporary employee and became his assistant in October. On February 26, 2006, Fang had his birthday, and his friends threw him a birthday party. That night, Guo got very drunk. According to her later story, she vomited several times and eventually passed out. She vaguely remembered someone touching her, and she struggled and fought back, but she could not remember anything after that. The next morning, she woke up to find herself in bed naked, and it was Fang who brought her back to his place last night. She immediately understood what happened last night and quickly got dressed and left. Guo said in an interview that working in the hospital made her more aware of the harshness of reality. She believed that she could only change this temporary job into a formal job if she could control herself. For this reason, after the incident, although she was very upset about what Fang did to her, she did not refuse when Fang invited her to her place because she thought Fang had the power to help her or even fire her. The two began a secret sexual relationship, and Guo lived and worked as before. Sometimes, Fang gave her some money and made some promises about her job. Guo had high hopes that Fang would offer her a permanent job. In June 2006, Guo met her cousin's classmate, 18-year-old Wang Zijian, who was in his 2nd year of high school, while having dinner with her cousin. Wang was born into a rural family. From an early age, his parents were strict with him, and their parenting method was to hit or punish him when he made a mistake, but this increased his rebellious attitude. He considers himself to be a rather impulsive person. After Wang meets Guo, who is 5 years older than him, he feels cared for and understood, and the two soon start dating. Since then, Guo begins to reduce her contact with Fang. Around August 2006, according to some reports, Guo was pregnant, so she talked to Fang about it. Fang reassured her and promised again to help her with her work. He also mentioned that the hospital would soon hire some nurses in the hope that she would have an abortion and focus on preparing for the recruitment exam. Guo agreed. In the following days, she continued to comply with Fang's sexual demands. Not long after, Guo took the nurse recruitment exam and was accepted. However, this position was a substitute nurse, which was not included in the formal nursing staff. So Guo went to Fang again and hoped to be transferred to a formal nursing position, but Fang refused. After that, Guo asked Fang to help her get a job as a nurse several times, but she still didn't get any significant help from him, so she refused his sexual requests. Fang was angry and even fired her from the hospital. After being fired, Guo told Wang about what happened between her and Fang. Guo said that after being raped by Fang, she was under a lot of pressure, often having nightmares. Wang was very angry after knowing that and wanted to help her get revenge. During the interrogation, Guo said that she hated Fang and wanted to take revenge on him, so she told Wang about her idea to kill Fang. Wang asked her if she really wanted to do it. Guo said yes and asked if she wanted to do it with her. Wang considered for a moment and agreed. Then they thought of a way to do it. While in Wang's confession, he was the one who proposed to kill Fang because he understood how Guo was hurt by Fang and he wanted Fang dead. Regardless of who first proposed to kill Fang, in this case, 23-year-old Guo and 18-year-old Wang went together to buy a large claw hammer and prepared 2 unused scalpels, ready to kill Fang. At 4 p.m. on September 30th, the two brought a hammer and a knife to the hospital. Guo went to the office to talk to Fang, saying that she needed to talk to Fang, but it was not convenient to talk in the office. She suggested that they go to Fang's car to have a good talk. As soon as Fang got into the car, Wang, who had been waiting nearby for a long time, opened the driver's door and forced Fang to move into the passenger seat with a scalpel in his hand. Then Guo drove the car to the location they had planned beforehand. By then, it was getting dark. After parking, Guo and Wang first negotiated with Fang in the car, asking Fang to provide Guo with a formal nursing job within 3 days. But Fang explained that he did not have the authority to do so. While negotiating, Wang first cut Fang's right neck and blood flowed profusely. Fang hurriedly covered the wound with a towel. Then Wang cut Fang's right wrist. Fang shouted that the wound had penetrated the artery and they had to stop the bleeding immediately. Fang's blood spurted onto the windshield. Wang grabbed his shirt to clean it, but accidentally dropped the knife on Fang's leg. Fang took the knife and slashed it at Wang, who was in the back seat, but Wang managed to dodge. Then, Fang hurriedly opened the door to escape and shouted for help to the oncoming car, but the car did not stop and sped away. Not long after, another pickup truck came. The truck's lights shone on Fang, who was covered in blood and screaming for help, but the truck did not stop either. Fang could only keep running. Wang followed him from behind and crossed the road and finally caught up with him. Wang hit him with a hammer on his head and left arm. Fang fell to the ground and did not move anymore. Guo continued to run behind them. After seeing Fang dead, the two bought gasoline and drove the car to an empty lot. They poured gasoline on the car and set it on fire. Before setting the car on fire, they took Fang's cell phone. Shortly afterward, Fang's body was found. Since Guo had gone to his office to look for him before committing the crime, the suspects were easily identified. On October 2, 2006, Guo and Wang were arrested in a waiting room at a train station. On August 2, 2007, Wang Zijian and Guo Shuang were sentenced to death for premeditated murder. In December 2008, the Supreme People's Court approved Guo's death sentence, and Wang was sentenced to death with a 2-year reprieve. Although Wang was uncertain whether he would be executed, he still tried to comfort Guo, saying that he did not blame her. Guo was executed in 2008, and according to online reports, Wang's sentence was commuted to 17 years in prison, meaning he will be released in 2025. That's all for the crime story this time. Thank you to the subscribers who have supported us. Stay alert wherever you are, and see you in the next crime case story.